everybody, how's it going? On today's video, we are going to be talking about an audiobook called Shadeslinger, a Ripple System Book 1. This is by Kyle Kern and Portal Books and narrated by Travis Baldry. The audiobook length is 21 hours and 32 minutes. Ooh, we got one today. I was just before I went ahead and listened to book 1, I was trying to find something. I was like out of audiobooks at the time, and I was like, man, I really need to find something just to listen to before one of my, it was like maybe a week or two before one of the audiobooks that I would listen to a lot were coming out. And so I got a recommendation off of a Facebook group called Lit RPG Books. And they said this was a great one. You should try it. And I was like, okay, well, I'll throw credit into the void and see what comes out. And it did not disappoint. And also at the time, like people were throwing out recommendations because the book 5 just released. And people were like, you got to get into this. And it's like, okay, well, let's go ahead and see what this is all about. So in Shadeslinger, we have a character named Ned. Ned is a corporate burnout. He just wasn't great at all at the business scene at his father's company. He like almost destroys it to the point where like just a lot of like just negative repercussions. But his dad comes back out of retirement to basically push it afloat again and get it to its successful high points. Later on the line, Ned is, by himself. His father has passed, and he wants to escape from this world that has just taken advantage of him, called him a failure, and he wants to do something different. There's this announcement for this video game that is like, you can go ahead and create the world that you want to be. Your actions will reflect and just grow a path throughout this universe. So when Ned's character heard of this, he just got really excited. He's like, wow, I really want to get into this game after the announcement trailer is launched. And so there is this point in the book where they're giving free starters, like 3-day starter passes to people, and they go ahead and sell them at an auction. But there is also that buyout price. And at this time, Ned is pretty darn wealthy after his father passing away, and he gets all of that money and resources to him, and he doesn't really have any of his life. So he wants to go ahead and jump in on this, escape from the real world and what the real world thinks of him. So instead of just buying one of the 3-day starters, he goes ahead and buys all of them out. There's like 50, and it's like millions of dollars. But he just like, I just want to have this universe be my own. And so he buys them all out, makes some people angry, talks actually to the head of the company because they were almost going to say no. But the company, he gets into a meeting with the company head, and he's like, okay, I'll let you do this if you do one thing for me. And he has like, okay, what was it? I want you to take this axe. This axe is going to help you, give you pointers and help you throughout the game. But at launch, I'm going to tell people where everyone can come and play that you have this axe. And the only way to take it from you is to kill your character. And he's like, sure, whatever. So, after they break up, or after they break from that meeting and, exchange a few words. Again, Ned's character doesn't really like the run of this corporate juggernaut game company. And when he gets it, his little pod and everything to start playing the game and his head start, he jumps in there, and through a little bit of the starter menu, he meets the axe. The axe is like an AI system, and it's named the Axe of Unbridled Knowledge. And I might be missing a few things. I apologize, but in short, his name is Frank. The Axe of Unbridled Knowledge. Frank is a character, and he is like one of the funniest things that has happened. It's still like he is Ned's guide in this game, and he will allow him information as long as he goes ahead and levels up. With levels comes knowledge more about information he wants to know about throughout the game. And so then he's off. He's off to go ahead and, make his character. And one thing he is not told is that Frank the Axe, it hates magic. And Ned wants to play a magic using character. And there's just this whole back and forth with as they start the game about how Frank hates magic users and they're wimps, and you just need to be like just destroying everybody left and right. And that's like, no, I'm playing a magic user. You can give me all these recognitions all day long, but I'm going to go with this. So that's kind of like the start of this whole book. And I can't even just tell you how funny Frank and Ned's relationship is. It's just hilarious. So let me move on from my version of my summary, which probably was a little longer than I'd like, to some of the pros and cons of what I enjoyed about this audiobook experience, if you can't tell already, and how long that summary was and how much I was just smiling and talking about Frank and Ned's relationship. The first thing is I really enjoyed Travis Baldry's narration. He just did a bang-up job with the characters, and he always does a bang-up job. If you want audiobooks narrated well, Travis Baldry is definitely one of those names you'll hear thrown out there, and just a great narrator and also author, but a narrator that just does a great job with audiobooks. So I really enjoyed his narrations. Next, again, I talked about this already, but I love Ned and Frank's relationship, the back and forth of, Ned trying to justify the way he's doing things and them being a magic user, and Frank just saying, you're dumb, you should be doing this, and magic users are wimps, you just need to get yourself a giant axe and just go cleaving through this whole universe that in this game. And so, yeah, but Frank is still helpful at the time. I don't want to make sound Frank like being so, unhelpful, but there are times where he is. But then there are times later in the book as he grows into his character and their relationship that he begrudgingly starts seeing a little bit in the first book on how magic users aren't that bad. But yeah, so really love Ned and Frank's relationship. Next, I enjoy these a lot about some lit RPGs where they get into the system and the mechanics of what's going on. And in this one, it's just getting into the game mechanics of this universe or into the gaming world that Ned has put himself in. It's just really cool. And I like the terminology and the depth of that sometimes. So that's just a bonus in my book. And yeah, so that's really my pros. Let's go and move some of the cons. And honestly, if you already don't know, probably don't have many cons. I really don't have any. These are just things that I want to go ahead and point out that some people just might not like, that might just find these things something they don't want to spend their time on. Again, I said this was over 20 hours long. And I would love for you to get into this series, but if you don't like what I'm already talking about, then just don't even bother with this. So some of the cons that I have is the depth of information. Like I said, they go into a lot of strategies and information terminology within this book, and it's not like it's just enough to, if that's not your thing, then you might not enjoy it. But again, Frank's and Ned's relationship could just wipe that all away, because just the interaction with them as they talk about things is just awesome and hilarious, and you just need to listen to it. I'm doing really bad with the cons right now. Again, I am very biased. I'm just gonna let you know I'm very biased. Next, I don't know, game world instead of the real world. There's not much into the real world in the first book. It's just someone that really is heavily into gaming. So if you're not really heavily into video games or something like that, you might not enjoy this. And the last point is like anything I've said before. If anything that I've talked about before about really what I've really enjoyed and liked, and even the summary of this book that I talked about doesn't find any interest to you, then it's something that you just won't like. Again, I don't have many cons. I really tried hard to find some cons. It's just I really enjoy this book, so I guess it's hard for me to pull cons out of thin air. So if anything I've said you don't like, then again, this might be a book that you just don't like. With these videos, I want to go ahead and try to find people one of two things. Find people a new audiobook that they really enjoy, or skip an audiobook that they won't enjoy and save them that credit, that money, and that time that you have to go and spend and listen to this. But yeah, that's the main point of these audiobooks or these reviews, because I just want to go ahead and let people know about certain audiobooks. And if they find a new one, great. If they don't, then hey, I saved you some time. So yeah, that's all I gotta really say about Shadeslinger, the Ripple System book 1 of this fantasy lit RPG series. Again, really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments of a current audiobook you're listening to. But yeah, I'm just geeking out a lot about this one. But I also leave a link in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and read the summary that the author wrote and listen to a little bit, because Audible has those little sample clips that you can listen in on, and it's just a good little taste of what you'll get. But yeah, again, that link will be in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and check out that audiobook. So hopefully this was helpful. If not, whatever. But I will talk to you guys next time, and yeah, see you later. Toodles!